With its pristine beaches, lush rainforests, and year-round spring-like weather, Costa Rica has become the poster child for tropical retirement dreams. Magazine covers promise a life of luxury for pennies on the dollar, where Social Security checks stretch like rubber bands and healthcare rivals the world's best. But behind the glossy brochures and YouTube testimonials lies a more complex reality, one that many retirees discover only after they've already made the leap. Every year, thousands of Americans pack up their lives and head south, drawn by promises of affordable paradise. Costa Rica consistently ranks among the world's top retirement destinations, with an estimated 120,000 American expats calling it home. But what they don't tell you in those retirement seminars is that the Costa Rica of 2025 isn't the bargain basement paradise it once was. And for every success story, there's a cautionary tale of dreams deferred, savings depleted, and hearts broken by the harsh realities of expatriate life. So what's the real story behind retiring in Costa Rica? Why do some expats thrive, while others pack up and head home within 2 years? And with rapid development changing the landscape, is Costa Rica still the retirement haven it's cracked up to be? The price of paradise. When cheap becomes expensive. The first shock most retirees face in Costa Rica isn't cultural, it's financial. The days of living like royalty on $1,000 a month are long gone, if they ever truly existed. Today's Costa Rica is experiencing rapid inflation, with the cost of living rising faster than many retirees' fixed incomes can handle. A modest rental home in a desirable expat area like Tamarindo or Uvita now runs $1,500 to $3,000 per month. Hardly the bargain basement prices advertised in retirement magazines. Want to live near the beach? That beachfront condo that cost $200,000 5 years ago is now pushing $400,000, and that's if you can find one available. The real estate market has been transformed by an influx of digital nomads, wealthy investors, and yes, retirees themselves. Properties that locals once afforded are now priced for foreign buyers, creating a two-tier economy where expats compete against each other for increasingly expensive housing. But it's not just housing costs that surprise newcomers. Imported goods, which includes almost everything from electronics to brand-name foods, carry hefty import taxes. That box of cereal that costs $4 in the US will run you $12 in Costa Rica. A Honda Civic that sells for $25,000 in America costs $45,000 in San Jose. Even seemingly local items like fresh produce can cost more than what you'd pay at Whole Foods, especially if you're shopping in expat-heavy areas where prices are inflated for foreign residents. Utilities are another hidden cost. Electricity rates in Costa Rica are among the highest in Central America, and running air conditioning in the tropical heat can easily push monthly bills over $300. Internet service, crucial for staying connected with family back home, costs nearly double what you'd pay in the US for half the speed and reliability. The result? Most financial advisors now recommend a minimum of $3,000 to $4,000 per month for a comfortable retirement in Costa Rica, with many couples needing closer to $5,000 or $6,000 to maintain their preferred lifestyle. That's a far cry from the $1,200 per month paradise promised in retirement brochures. Healthcare, the promise versus the reality. Costa Rica's healthcare system is often cited as one of the world's best, and there's truth to that claim. The country's universal healthcare system, known as the CAJA, does provide comprehensive coverage at a fraction of US costs. Expat retirees can join the system for roughly $100 to $300 per month, depending on their income level, and receive access to everything from routine checkups to major surgeries. But here's what they don't tell you. The system is designed for locals, not foreigners, and the experience can be vastly different from what American retirees expect. Wait times for non-emergency procedures can stretch for months or even years. That knee replacement you need? You might wait 8 months to see a specialist, then another 6 months for the surgery itself. Language barriers compound the problem. While some doctors speak English, many don't, and medical terminology becomes crucial when you're discussing your health. Imagine trying to explain your symptoms or understand post-operative care instructions in Spanish when you're stressed, in pain, and dealing with a medical emergency. The private healthcare system offers faster service and English-speaking doctors, but it comes at a premium. Private health insurance for a 65-year-old can cost $200 to $500 per month, on top of the mandatory caja payments. Many procedures still cost less than in the US, but the gap is narrowing rapidly as Costa Rica's medical tourism industry drives up prices. Then there's the question of specialized care. While Costa Rica excels at routine medical care and common procedures, complex conditions often require travel to the US or other countries. Cancer treatment, advanced cardiac procedures, and rare disease specialists are limited, leaving some retirees in the difficult position of choosing between staying in paradise and getting the best possible care. Emergency medical evacuation insurance becomes essential, but it's expensive and doesn't cover everything. Many retirees discover too late that their Medicare doesn't work in Costa Rica, and private insurance policies often have exclusions for pre-existing conditions or age-related restrictions. The Bureaucratic Maze: Residency and Legal Realities. Getting legal residency in Costa Rica isn't the simple process many retirees expect. The country offers several residency options, but each comes with its own requirements, costs, and complications. The most popular option, pensionado status, requires proof of at least $1,000 per month in pension income. Sounds simple, right? The reality involves mountains of paperwork, apostilled documents, background checks, and a process that can take anywhere from 6 months to 2 years. Every document must be translated by a certified translator, notarized, and then apostilled by the appropriate government agency. But here's the kicker: Costa Rica's immigration laws change frequently, and what was acceptable last year might not be valid today. Many retirees arrive to find that the rules have changed, their applications are rejected, or they need additional documentation that wasn't required when they started the process. The legal system itself operates differently than what Americans expect. Property rights, while generally secure, can be complex. Beachfront property, for instance, operates under different rules, with some areas designated as national patrimony that can't be owned by foreigners. Many retirees discover that their dream beachfront lot comes with restrictions they never anticipated. Banking presents another challenge. Opening a bank account requires residency, but getting residency is easier with a local bank account. It's a classic catch-22 that leaves many retirees dependent on lawyers and facilitators who charge premium fees to navigate the system. Tax implications add another layer of complexity. While Costa Rica doesn't tax foreign-sourced income, the U.S. still expects its citizens to file tax returns regardless of where they live. Many retirees end up paying for both American and Costa Rican tax preparation, adding hundreds or thousands to their annual expenses. The social reality: integration versus isolation. Costa Rica's expat communities can be both a blessing and a curse. In areas like Atinas, Tamarindo, and the Central Valley, established expat communities offer familiar faces, English-speaking services, and a support network that can make the transition easier. But they can also create insular bubbles that prevent meaningful integration into Costa Rican culture. Many retirees arrive with romantic notions of learning Spanish and immersing themselves in local culture, only to discover that it's easier to stick with English-speaking friends and businesses. The result is a parallel society where expats live in Costa Rica, but not truly of Costa Rica. This isolation becomes more pronounced as retirees age. While younger expats might adapt more easily, older retirees often struggle with language barriers, cultural differences, and the loss of familiar social structures. The bridge club, church group, or neighborhood association that provided social connection back home doesn't exist in the same form in Costa Rica. Family visits become a major consideration. That affordable paradise seems less appealing when your grandchildren can't afford to visit, or when you're missing important family events because of the distance and cost. Many retirees find themselves making expensive trips back to the U.S. several times a year, eroding the financial advantages of living in Costa Rica. Depression and loneliness affect many expat retirees, though it's rarely discussed in retirement seminars. The combination of cultural isolation, language barriers, and distance from family can take a significant mental health toll, particularly for those who retire to Costa Rica as singles or couples without strong social networks. The infrastructure challenge. When paradise meets reality, Costa Rica's infrastructure tells a tale of two countries. In San Jose and major tourist areas, you'll find modern amenities, reliable internet, and well-maintained roads. But venture into the areas where property is still affordable, and you'll encounter a different reality. Internet service, crucial for modern retirees who want to stay connected with family and manage finances online, can be spotty and expensive. While major providers offer high-speed connections in urban areas, rural properties often deal with slow, unreliable service that makes video calls with grandchildren an exercise in frustration. The electrical grid, while generally reliable, faces increasing strain from growth and development. Power outages are common during the rainy season, and voltage fluctuations can damage sensitive electronics. Many retirees find themselves investing in backup generators, surge protectors, and voltage regulators, expenses that weren't in their original budget. Water quality varies dramatically by location. While tap water is generally safe in major cities, rural areas might rely on wells or local systems that don't meet the standards retirees expect. Many invest in filtration systems or rely on bottled water, adding to monthly expenses. Transportation infrastructure presents ongoing challenges. While Costa Rica has invested heavily in new highways, many areas still rely on roads that become impassable during heavy rains. That charming mountain property with the spectacular view might be accessible only by four-wheel drive, making trips to town an adventure rather than a convenience. Public transportation, while extensive, operates on a different schedule than what most American retirees expect. Bus routes might run hourly rather than every few minutes, and service to remote areas can be limited or non-existent on weekends and holidays. The environmental reality. Climate change and natural hazards. Costa Rica's natural beauty is undeniable, but it comes with environmental challenges that many retirees don't fully consider. The country sits in an active seismic zone, with earthquakes a regular occurrence. While most are minor, the potential for a major earthquake exists, and building codes in some areas may not meet the standards retirees expect. The tropical climate that attracts retirees also brings challenges. The rainy season, which runs from May to November, means months of daily downpours that can be both oppressive and destructive. Mold becomes a constant battle in humid conditions, requiring vigilant maintenance and potentially expensive remediation. Hurricanes, while less common than in other Caribbean destinations, do occur. Hurricane damage can be devastating, and insurance coverage for natural disasters is often limited or expensive. Many retirees discover that their homeowner's insurance doesn't cover flood damage, earthquake damage, or wind damage from hurricanes. Climate change is affecting Costa Rica's weather patterns, with more intense storms, longer dry seasons, and shifting precipitation patterns. Areas that were once reliably temperate are experiencing more extreme weather, affecting everything from agriculture to tourism. Wildlife, while one of Costa Rica's attractions, can also present challenges. Venomous snakes, aggressive insects, and curious monkeys are facts of life in many areas. What seems charming in small doses can become problematic when you're living with it daily. The economic tightrope. Currency and financial risks. Costa Rica's economy, while stable by Central American standards, faces ongoing challenges that can affect retirees' financial security. The colon, Costa Rica's currency, has been gradually weakening against the dollar, which benefits expats with dollar-denominated income but creates inflation for local goods and services. Banking regulations can be restrictive for foreigners. Many banks require substantial minimum balances, charge high fees for international transactions, and have limited ATM networks. Credit cards, while widely accepted in tourist areas, may not be accepted in smaller towns or for certain services. The informal economy, while vibrant, can be challenging for retirees to navigate. Many services, from housekeeping to gardening, operate on a cash basis without formal contracts or insurance. This can create liability issues and make it difficult to establish reliable service relationships. Property taxes, while generally low, are increasing as the government seeks new revenue sources. Many expat-heavy areas are seeing significant tax increases as property values rise. What seemed like a negligible annual expense can become a significant budget item. The social fabric, expat communities, and cultural integration. The expat experience in Costa Rica varies dramatically depending on where you settle. Areas like Atenas and Grecia have well-established American communities with English-speaking services, social clubs, and familiar amenities. But these communities can also become echo chambers, where expats live parallel lives to the local population. Integration becomes more challenging as language barriers persist. While many Costa Ricans speak some English, especially in tourist areas, daily life requires Spanish proficiency. Medical appointments, legal matters, and government services all require Spanish, leaving non-Spanish speakers dependent on translators and facilitators. Cultural differences can be more significant than many retirees expect. Costa Rican concepts of time, business practices, and social interaction can frustrate Americans accustomed to different approaches. The phrase "tico time" refers to a more relaxed approach to punctuality that can be charming in theory but frustrating in practice. Religious and social conservatism in many communities can also surprise liberal retirees. While Costa Rica is generally tolerant, traditional Catholic values influence many social norms, and some expat behaviors that seem normal to Americans might be viewed differently by local communities. The healthcare deep dive. Beyond the headlines. While Costa Rica's healthcare system receives international praise, the reality for expat retirees is more complex. The public system, while comprehensive, operates under different principles than American healthcare. Preventive care is emphasized, but patient choice and convenience take a back seat to cost control and efficiency. Prescription medications present ongoing challenges. While many drugs are available and affordable, some medications common in the U.S. aren't available in Costa Rica. Importing prescription drugs is possible but complicated, requiring prescriptions from licensed Costa Rican doctors and navigation of import regulations. Dental care, often cited as a major advantage of Costa Rican healthcare, varies in quality and availability. While excellent dentists exist, particularly in San Jose, finding quality dental care in rural areas can be challenging. Many expats end up traveling to the capital for dental work, adding time and expense to routine care. Mental health services, crucial for retirees dealing with the stresses of relocation and aging, are limited. English-speaking therapists and counselors are rare, and cultural approaches to mental health may differ from what American retirees expect. The legal landscape, property rights and protections. Property ownership in Costa Rica, while generally secure, operates under different legal principles than American real estate law. The registration system, while comprehensive, can be slow and bureaucratic. Title searches must be thorough, and many properties have complicated histories that require legal expertise to navigate. Squatters' rights, known as adverse possession, exist in Costa Rica and can affect property owners who don't maintain active use of their land. Many expat retirees discover that their vacation home or vacant lot has been occupied by squatters during their absence, creating legal complications that can take years to resolve. Environmental regulations can also affect property use. Areas designated as protected zones, wetlands, or wildlife corridors may have restrictions that weren't apparent at the time of purchase. Many retirees find their development plans blocked by environmental regulations they didn't know existed. Contract law operates differently than in the U.S., with different standards for enforcement and dispute resolution. Many business relationships that would be formalized with contracts in America operate on handshake agreements in Costa Rica, creating potential complications for retirees accustomed to formal business practices. The future of retirement in Costa Rica. Costa Rica's popularity as a retirement destination is changing the country in ways that affect both expats and locals. Rapid development in expat-heavy areas is driving up costs and changing the character of communities. The charming small towns that attracted retirees are becoming expensive resort communities that price out both locals and budget-conscious expats. Government policies are also evolving. Immigration requirements are becoming more stringent. Tax policies are changing. And there's ongoing debate about the sustainability of providing public services to a growing expat population. Some politicians have proposed changes to residency requirements or tax policies that could significantly affect expat retirees. Climate change poses long-term risks to Costa Rica's appeal. Rising sea levels threaten coastal communities. Changing weather patterns affect agriculture and tourism, and increasing storms and natural disasters could make some areas less attractive or more expensive to live in. The demographic shift is also significant. As more baby boomers reach retirement age, the competition for desirable properties and services is intensifying. The Costa Rica that current retirees chose may not be the same country that future retirees will find. The verdict: paradise with asterisks. Costa Rica remains an attractive retirement destination, but it's not the bargain basement paradise that many imagine. Success as an expat retiree requires realistic expectations, substantial financial resources, and the flexibility to adapt to a different culture and way of life. The retirees who thrive in Costa Rica are typically those who embrace the differences rather than trying to recreate their American lifestyle in a tropical setting. They learn Spanish, build relationships with locals, and adapt to Costa Rican ways of doing business. They also typically have more financial resources than the minimum suggested in retirement magazines, allowing them to weather unexpected expenses and changes in the economic landscape. For those considering retirement in Costa Rica, the key is preparation. Visit during different seasons, spend time in various regions, and honestly assess your financial situation, health needs, and social requirements. Talk to expats who've been there for several years, not just the newly arrived enthusiasts or the professional promoters selling retirement dreams. Costa Rica can offer a wonderful retirement experience, but it's not for everyone, and it's not as cheap or simple as the marketing materials suggest. The country's natural beauty, friendly people, and stable democracy make it an attractive option, but success requires more than just showing up with a social security check and a dream. The question isn't whether Costa Rica is a good place to retire. It's whether it's the right place for your specific situation, needs, and expectations. For some, it will be paradise. For others, it will be an expensive lesson in the gap between marketing and reality. The key is knowing which category you're likely to fall into before you make the leap. As Costa Rica continues to evolve and develop, the retirement experience will continue to change. What seems like a stable paradise today might be tomorrow's overcrowded, expensive disappointment. But for those who do their homework, manage their expectations, and prepare for the challenges as well as the rewards, Costa Rica can still offer a rewarding retirement experience, just not the one advertised in the brochures.